Hey guys, and welcome to another edition of Ending Explained. This time we'll be looking at the 2016 film The Boy, a psychological doll thriller starring The Walking Dead's Lauren Cohan, aka Maggie. If you haven't seen the movie yet, it's out now on DVD and on demand, so make sure to watch it, because there's going to be massive spoilers. But before we get started, allow me to introduce my friend Frank, the puppet. Hey everybody, it's your pal Frank the monkey. Oh yeah! Silly monkey. I'm gonna put him on the couch for now. So the main question of the movie, is Brahms the doll possessed by evil, or is there something else going on? I mean, there's no way a doll could be possessed by evil, right? Ah! So the movie doesn't have an ambiguous ending, more of a twist ending, but there are other pieces throughout the film that can help explain the full story. The movie follows Maggie, Greta, a nanny that has taken a new job in the remote English countryside. Apparently she's running from some problems of her own. We also meet Malcolm, the hunky grocery delivery guy that doesn't have very good game. Like he says he can read Greta from her gum.
Allow you to...
Yeah, I'm gonna read your gum. I'm a professional.
Yeah, I can tell that you think that this isn't charming and I'm a total jackass. We meet the Heelshires, an elderly couple and parents to a little boy called Brahms. The Heelshires have a long list of rules for Maggie to follow. So from the rules we were presented, we get our first couple of clues to figure out what's going on. Things like they don't throw any extra food out, and make sure to play music at a loud volume. And don't forget to tend to the various rat traps around the grounds, as Mrs. Heelshire is worried they could get into the walls. Loud music, extra food, concern for rats in the walls. Could somebody be living in the walls? There's gotta be more to it than that, right? Yeah, I mean, we're only like 10 minutes into the movie anyway, so let's keep digging. Then Maggie is introduced to Brahms, and yep, it's not a real boy, it's a doll. It's of course very weird, and even Maggie is starting to look like, are there maybe any zombies around? Because I'd rather be in a zombie apocalypse than dealing with these weirdos right now. She decides to make the best of it and tries to take care of the doll to Mrs. Heelshire's detailed specifications. After all, there have been other potential nannies who have been rejected by Brahms.
It's time to wake up, Brahms.
He's not a baby, Miss Evans. You needn't be afraid of hurting him.
Frankie, it's time to wake up. Frank, wake up! Luckily, Brahms does approve of her. Hooray! And the parents feel comfortable leaving Maggie while they go on holiday. Then it's just the two of them in the house, with Malcolm showing up occasionally. He reveals that Brahms was a weird kid and was killed in a fire when he was a kid. Not soon after, the doll showed up. We see more scenes indicating that something else is in the house. Like we see Maggie taking a shower, there's a low-angle POV watching her, and her dress is taken. Wait, what is she doing there? She's just rubbing her legs. There's not even soap or anything. Ever heard of a washcloth lady? Actually, this scene isn't so bad after all. In this scene, she also wears what must be the most impressive towel ever on film. The thing never falls off or even budges a little bit. That's what we should be trying to explain, is that towel. Now that's gotta be the work of evil. Satan's towel of doom! And staying in place no matter what. Things get weirder and weirder in the house, like shadows seen on the wall or unexplained PB&Js showing up outside her door. And it does seem to be the work of the doll. And so she gets a call from Brahms telling her in a creepy child voice to follow the rules. She decides it's probably best to give it a go, taking care of the doll as instructed, and after getting the doll to move on its own, becomes convinced that it is indeed the spirit of Brahms trapped in the doll. We also see Brahms' parents on their holiday, which is walking into the sea, killing themselves to get away from Brahms. What finally drove them to snap after all this time? It's gonna take a few more steps to figure that out. Later, Maggie even gets the doll to perform the moving trick for Malcolm, and both now completely believe that the doll is alive and possessed with Brahms' spirit. We find out about a little girl named Emily Cribbs that Brahms and Malcolm both knew who was killed. So Brahms must have killed the girl, and his parents caused the fire to protect Brahms from any repercussions related to the killing, right? Yeah, probably. Unexpectedly, Maggie's ex Cole shows up, who is the source of her problems that she ran away from in the first place. And as soon as you see this guy, you're like, oh, this guy, he's a douche. Bet he's gonna die. After some more stuff from Brahms, Maggie tries to explain to Cole about the possessed doll, and Cole isn't buying it, smashing the doll onto a table, crumbling it into piles of pieces. This was not a smart move, and the house seems to come alive, banging in the walls and weird noises coming from all around them. Oh, some supernatural shit's finally gonna go down, right? Please? Cole gets closer to a mirror and the mirror explodes, sending Cole flying through the air. An arm comes out from where the mirror was in the wall and out steps Brahms. That's right, Brahms isn't dead at all. He's been living in the walls this whole time and is now some kind of malnourished maniac that can launch dudes into the air, flying across the room. Must be fueled by psychotic rage that gives him superpowers. Whatever, he's here now, deal with it. And as was foretold, he kills Cole, chasing Malcolm and Maggie around the house. They find one of his passageways and discover his room hidden within the walls, including Maggie's missing dress on a weird doll of his own. I don't want to think about what he does with that thing. Also, there's a letter to Brahms left by his parents when they went on holiday saying they will not be back and the girl is yours now. Ugh, jeez. So they knew exactly what they were doing and letting Brahms have his way with Greta. Well, at least they approve of her. Hate it when my parents don't like my girlfriends. They keep getting chased around the house, and at one point Brahms calls out that he'll kill her, just like the others. She finally goes toe-to-toe with Brahms and stabs him a couple times, escaping the house with a wounded but alive Malcolm. As they drive away, we go back into the house and see that Brahms the doll has been pieced back together, implying that Brahms, the guy, not the doll, is still alive. I really thought the ending would have had Maggie burning the house down and killing Brahms for real this time, but no. She just leaves. And after all, they are considering a sequel. Not really sure where they would go with that one. But I do have a title. Boy 2. Growing Up is Hard to Do. With a 2 instead of a 2. See that there? It's pretty good, right? So thanks to the rules given at the beginning and a few clues hidden throughout, it's pretty easy to figure out that it's actually an alive Brahms that's behind everything. Not really a super surprising twist, but probably more interesting than if it was just an evil doll. But the full story of the history of Brahms is not quite as clear. Thanks to a few important things I mentioned, I think I can figure out the whole story. Brahms was a creepy kid from the start and did, in fact, kill Emily when he was a child. Again, the fire that supposedly killed Brahms was actually started by his parents to cover up the murder. But how to keep him protected but also contained and watched over. Thusly, the idea of him living in the walls of a house out of sight was created. Meanwhile, the doll was created by his parents as a way to preserve their son as an innocent boy, and they forced themselves to truly believe that the doll was their son, unable to cope with the reality of what he had done. They tried to compromise, believing the doll is their son, but still somewhat catering to the real Brahms by leaving extra food behind, playing loud music, and all that stuff. But Brahms is still a murdering psycho, and this goes unchecked and gets worse over time. As his parents try to find new nannies, Brahms killed them all. This is supported by Mrs. Heelshire mentioning how other nannies had been rejected by Brahms, and near the end, Brahms even shouts about how he'll kill her like the others. His parents were forced to keep covering up more murders, and eventually, and quite understandably, couldn't continue the charade of pretending their boy was still pure, even in doll form. And thusly, the only way to really get away from Brahms is to kill themselves. It's kind of sad, really. I mean, they definitely picked a weird way to cope with the situation, but they obviously still love Brahms, despite him being a lunatic. Oh, and as far as adult Brahms being able to do a creepy kid's voice, I guess he had a lot of free time alone in the walls. Probably made him go more insane now that I think about it, and must have learned how to do a weird kid voice. Maybe it's kind of the remnants of the child inside him since he really didn't grow up, stopping development after the first murder and subsequent 2 decades in the walls. Or maybe it just doesn't make a lot of sense. So there you go, guys. The doll isn't possessed by evil, nothing supernatural going on whatsoever. It's not like that could really happen anyway, right, Frank? Wait, where'd he go? Frank? Alright guys, if you have any questions, make sure to let me know in the comments below. Oh yeah, make sure to subscribe.
Hello. You're next.